Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to briefly discuss how to construct frequency polygons in Google Sheets. We're going to use the exact same example that we use for histograms. So we have a list of raw data, and that data has been organized into class limits, class boundaries, and frequency. Remember that for frequency polygons, we need two numbers. The first number that we need are the midpoints for each class, including the midpoints for the class below the first and above the last. And we then need the frequency for each class. So I'm going to ignore that first row for a minute, and we're going to start with our first class. So our class goes from 1 to 5. To find the midpoint, we add those values and divide by 2. So 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. I'm going to repeat that all the way down. So 6 plus 10 is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 11 and 15 is 26. 26 divided by 2 is 13. And you'll notice the pattern. Our midpoints are 5 apart, just like our lower class limits are 5 apart, and our upper class limits are 5 apart. So this table, this frequency distribution, uses a class width of 5. So to get the midpoints for those remaining two classes, I'm just going to add 5. So 13 plus 5 is 18, and 18 plus 5 is 23. I can also use that pattern to find that starting midpoint and that ending midpoint. So 3 minus 5 is going to be minus 2. And 23 plus 5 is going to be 28. That first and last boxes in frequency are 0 and 0. There's no data that's less than 1. There's no data that's bigger than 25. So there's nothing at -2 and there's nothing at 28. Those 2 points exist to close off our line graph so that it makes a closed polygon. That's how the graph got its name. For the rest of the boxes, we copy down the frequencies as they were listed in the table. So 2, 3, 6, 9, 7. From here, I'm going to highlight this data, including those column labels. Highlighting the column labels gives Google some idea of how I want my chart to be labeled. Just like last time, we click Insert, Chart, and again, Google attempts to make a guess at what we want, and just like last time, it actually does fairly good. We've got a line graph. We have a shape in our graph that looks like a closed polygon. Really, the only thing that's missing is I don't see those dots that were used to construct this. So to show the dots, we're coming back over here to Chart Editor. We're clicking Customize, and we're going Series. And in Series, you'll notice there's Format, and we can change the line color, the line dash. So changing the color, we can make it green. The line dash changes whether it's solid, dotted, or dashed. And then you'll notice point size, and it defaults to none. But for frequency polygons, time series graphs, ogives, we want to see those dots. So I'm going to change it to 7 so that those points are very clear in the graph. Once I have done that, I'm actually done with my frequency polygon. Because we included column labels in our data, you'll notice those column labels show up appropriately in this chart. So my chart is pre-labeled. So this graph here is a completed frequency polygon for this data in our grouped frequency distribution. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.